How you doing, guys? Long time no see. Got to say that I really missed you. So, welcome. I was very impressed with the way our team went about the off-season program, the progress that we made, not only in conditioning, but also in simulated training and guys learning and understanding a little bit about what they need to do. Some of the reason for having a later spring practice was having 26 mid-year guys who haven't been in a program again. Gave us a little more opportunity to acclimate them to, what it takes to get in condition, learn a little bit about what you need to know to go out there and be able to execute and do your job and have a little better chance to do that. So, because the number one focus of spring practice is on your development. Every player, we want you to focus on your development, not what team you are, not where you're at, not the reps, but take advantage of every opportunity that you get to be accountable and responsible to do your job and take pride in paying attention to details so that you can do your job well. A lot of opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity to compete for a position. You guys love depth charts. We don't really have a depth chart right now. So, and we want to give everybody reps and everybody a chance to show what they can do and see how each and every individual might be able to contribute to the team, next year. We have, quite a few guys that are injured to some degree. Probably Deontay Lawson and Dallas Turner are two guys that are probably out of the spring completely. Both guys have had surgeries. Shouldn't be any issues for them moving forward, but they're probably out for the entire spring. Roydell Williams and Devontae Smith, both are recovering from injuries, but will probably be able to return, at some point during spring practice. And then Robbie Oots, Jamarian Latham, and Justin Aboigbe will be able to do certain things in practice, but they will be limited to some of the things that they can and can't do and probably won't be able to have full contact or be involved in a scrimmage, at all, this year. Tony Mitchell has been suspended from the team and all team activities until we gather more information about the situation and what his legal circumstance is. And, guys, everybody's got an opportunity to make choices and decisions. There's no such thing in being at the wrong place at the wrong time. You got to be responsible for who you're with, who you're around, and what you do, who you associate yourself with, and the situations that you put yourself in. So it is what it is, but there is, cause and effect when you make, choices and decisions that put you in bad situations. So any questions?
Start with Charlie.
Yeah, Coach, just regarding your defensive coaching staff, with Charles Kelly moving on, is it a situation where Travaris Robinson just coaches the entire DBs? Is that, how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, well, T-Rob has been here for a year. I think he's a really good coach. He's been a coordinator before. I think he's very capable. So Kevin Steele is going to walk around, basically. So we have an inside backer coach, an outside backer coach, a D-line coach, and a secondary coach. And then you got me walking around, and I don't know what exactly I contribute, but I'll be out there walking around doing something. And they're still trying to find something I can do, but I'm going to try to do something. And but that's really kind of how we're organized.
Chase?
What kind of opportunity is this spring for Kool-Aid McKinstry and Malachi Moore as the most experienced guys in the secondary?
Well, it's an opportunity for them to play. It's an opportunity for them to create value for themselves in the future by how they play. But it's no different for them than it is all the other guys. How responsible and accountable are you to do your job? How do you pay attention to details so that you can self-assess and improve and try to get better at what you do and have a sense of urgency about how you approach everything every day and pay attention to details? So I think that's everybody's opportunity, and I don't see it any different for those guys. They have experience. Experience probably matters. Their leadership probably matters and how it helps other players around them develop. But I think that creates value for them as well.
We'll go to the left with Mike.
There were over 1,000 players that went into the transfer portal after the season. There's two that joined the team, in C.J. Dupree and Tresman Marshall. What was the process in kind of paring that down and identifying the players that you wanted?
Well, what we've tried to do when it comes to the portal is look at guys that we think can make an immediate impact on our team. We have always tried to build our team with good recruiting of good young players who sort of fit the culture of what we want to do. And if we feel like we have a need at a position where we see someone who can come in and make an immediate impact, and I think most of the players that we've taken from the portal, and I think there's been 6 prior to this year, 5 of those guys all made significant impacts on the team. One guy got injured and probably didn't have the opportunity to do it, or he probably would have made an impact as well. So, and we're going to continue that same philosophy of how we bring guys into the team. We still have to manage the roster. We still have to manage numbers. And I think you always got to take that in consideration when you're dealing with the portal as well.
Stay here in the middle with Aaron.
I know they haven't had an opportunity to do much yet, but just looking at the offensive line, you have a lot of big-bodied, big-statured guys. Do you anticipate that being a group that's powerful and moving people at the point of attack?
I like the players that we have in the offensive line. I think we have some bigger, more physical players. I think they obviously don't have as much experience, but I like the attitude. I like their temperament. I like their toughness. And I think the number one thing is we got to create some depth, at that position. We probably lost more players than we gained, even though the players that we gained, we're excited about how they can contribute and what their future might be. So we probably need to add a little depth at that position.
In the back with Carrie.
Hi, Coach. When you come into spring and you know that you are obviously losing some key leadership roles and also some key starters, and you mix that in with now 2 new coordinators, what's the biggest challenge for you as the head coach entering into the spring with all those changes? And what's possibly the benefit or the most fun for you knowing that you get to kind of set a whole new scheme here?
Well, I've said this before, but I look at every season like I just took the job. So if I just took the job, what would we have? We'd have new coaches. We'd have new leadership. We'd have to create a new culture on this team. We'd have to create new leadership on our team from players as well as coaches. I would have to make sure that the coaches really understood the culture and the system that we wanted to play, whether it was offense, defense, or special teams. It's great to have continuity, especially in leadership positions, but this is not something that we don't have some experience at making sort of adaptations, being flexible, letting people add things that they know will be beneficial to us, contribute to how we can fix some of the problems that we've had in the past. New energy and new enthusiasm is always helpful. So that's what we're basically going to try to do with the new people that we have. And hopefully we'll have some players that step up and become leaders. But they're going to have to earn the right to do that. We haven't picked a leadership group yet. We have an advisory committee. And what the advisory committee is supposed to do is go back to their room, to their group, and advise them of my and our message that they all need to understand. Whoever does that the best has obviously got a chance to be a leader. But we haven't decided who that is yet. So they have to earn the right to do that.
In the middle with Tony.
And when you're breaking in 2 new quarterbacks, is it advantageous to have a younger offensive coordinator that's kind of been there at a time not too long ago that kind of can relate with them?
What if you had an older guy that had been there not too long ago? What would be the difference?
I'm saying that like in terms of being a quarterback himself.
I think the most important thing is not young, not old, good. All right, effective, good teacher, good quarterback coach, can develop quarterbacks, can help them sort of learn and grow at the position. And I think that was one of the critical factors in the search for a new coordinator, was that the guy would be a really good quarterback coach and has a history of being able to develop quarterbacks. And I think we did that.
Okay, well, Steven, 2 more. Start with Steven.
Speaking of development, Coach, when you were looking for an inside linebackers guy, what made Robert Balla stand out to you?
Made who?
Robert Balla, inside linebackers.
Oh, I thought you were talking about players. You're talking about coaches now? We interview a lot of people. We're looking for guys that fit from a character standpoint who have good character, who are going to set a good example and be good leaders for the players on our team. Secondly, we're looking for people who have knowledge, especially knowledge that of our system in terms of what we do and how we do it. And can the guy be a good teacher? And in the interview process, we thought that Robert was, an excellent candidate as a young guy that could come in and do all those things well for us.
Finish in the back with Taylor.
Hey, Coach, you have an opening at the quarterback position. What do you like about the guys who are going to be competing for that spot?
Well, look, I think everybody has an opportunity. None of the guys have a significant amount of experience. I think Jalen played, one game, half a game where he really had to play the game, and he made a lot of plays. He made plays in a different way than Bryce made plays. Ty, who made significant progress throughout the year but never really had much of an opportunity to play in critical situations in a game, is also someone that we think has developed and made a lot of improvement and has a lot of potential to be a pretty good player. And then we got two young freshmen that, they probably have a long way to go, but they're eager to learn and they're eager to try to improve and get a better understanding of what we need to do. But development at that position is really going to be a critical thing for our team this year because I like the players that we have around them.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.